What is up guys, Andy Forest Team Runner here and welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk to you guys all about shifting gears. So shifting gears, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm hopefully today going to explain everything. It's something I apply in training, been applying in training for a while, and I'm going to explain to you guys how you can apply it into your training and how it really does impact your racing. Shifting gears for me is all about being able to surge, being able to hold back when you need to, and being able to work out with your body what is good and what is not good, what feels right for the race and what doesn't. And we can apply this in our training, which is exactly what I'm about to do. So I'm sure a lot of you seasoned veteran runners out there, people that have raced loads, not talking about age, just talking about experience of racing, will be able to relate exactly to what I'm about to say. And that is, there are different ways of racing. Some of the three most common ways, realistically, the three main ways that me and you might end up going and running a race, going out hard and holding on for dear life, running even splits or trying to negative split, start up a little bit slower than goal pace, hit goal pace, and then absolutely smash it out of the park in the end. No way's right and no way's wrong. We all have our own preferences, but by shifting gears in training, it allows us to be able to have that option as to what we fancy. Sometimes I turn up at a race and go, do you know what? I want a good hard outing here. I want to go for it from the gun and see how long I can hold on for. And sometimes I'm thinking more tactically and thinking, well, if I just start off a little bit slower, hopefully I'll be able to pass a load of people at the end. It really does depend on how I'm feeling. But as I said, we practice all of this in training. I'm going to give you some examples in a second. I'm just going to get my drills and strides done and into the workout, which is going to show you exactly what I mean. So let me give you some examples of what I mean by shifting gears, and then you'll see how it relates to my workout today. So a lot of the time we can do things like equal intervals where we're doing something like 10 by 400 meters with a certain prescribed rest. Or for me, like if I'm doing threshold intervals, I might be doing like 8 by 2 minutes or 6 by 3 minutes. So they're all equal. And for me, they're fantastic because they allow me to try and be as metronomical as I can in terms of get the pacing right. If I go out too hard, the pacing across the intervals will drop. If I go out too slow, I'll be able to increase it. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's us learning about our bodies, learning to feel out what goal pace might be, what our threshold pace might be. But I like to mix it up sometimes, and today is a great example of that. I do it in certain training blocks, and this training block is no different. The shifting gears is where we might mix up the interval distance, mix up the interval rest to produce something that ends up coming out the same distance as something like 10 by 400, so the same volume of intensity, but just mix and matched in terms of different distances of intervals. So instead of 10 by 400, you could look at doing something like sets of 200 on, 200 off, 200 on, 400 off, 400 on, 200 off. And that's a little set right there. And what you're doing is you're learning to shift gears. For example, 200 on, 200 off. Simple, nice and easy, metronomical, 200 meters where you're working hard, 200 meters where you're recovering. But then shift gears, 200 meters on, staying in the same gear actually, sorry, and then in the 400 meter recovery you have extra time to kind of get yourself together, compose yourself before then shifting gears into that 400 meter repeat, which is double the length, but then only having a 200 meter rest, so you're only having half rest. So that completely shifts things in your body and tries to get you to adapt to what's going on, to then have to kick back in to a 200 meter on, 200 meter off. Another example might be something like, and I've done this a lot lately, is 600, 400, 200, a little set there, and then repeat. So 600 on with a minute recovery, 400 on with a minute recovery, or 90 seconds recovery, whatever you want to do. and then 200 meters on with 90-second recovery, and then go again, and just repeat that cycle. And what you're doing is you end up cutting down the paces, because naturally you can't hold your 200-meter pace for 600 meters. So you might go, okay, the 600 meters I want to try and run at 10k pace, the 400 meters let's go for 5k pace, and then the 200 meters let's go for the hard and fast all-out pace. So as I stare down the barrel of the linear park track, which goes all the way down there, when I turn around, by the way, it's going to be a horrible gentle uphill, which just takes the sting out of the legs. I'm thinking about what I'm about to do. And what am I about to do? I'm about to do 2 by 3 minutes with, I think it's a minute recovery, and then 3 by 30 seconds with a minute recovery between each of those, and then 3 by 90 seconds. So what effectively doing with shifting gears is, if you imagine a manual stick car, a gear shift, I'm going from 3rd gear for the 3 minutes up to 5th gear for the 30 seconds, but then back down to 4th gear for the 90 seconds. I am shifting gears and I'm practicing surging, practicing my pacing, and the key here is not to go out too hard in those 3 minutes. Otherwise I completely blow the workout for the other shorter intervals, and that's not the key here. But if it happens, it happens. We're learning about our bodies, we're learning about how we pace things, and these sorts of things are key for me, because naturally we might go out here and find the flattest place to do our intervals. I guarantee you, when you go to a race, it's not going to be as flat as you think it is. Cardiff took me by surprise, and I forgot actually just how there are some cheeky little hills in there and some inclines which I completely forgotten about when I last ran it about 4 or 5 years ago. So by doing this in training, what we're doing is we're practicing that situation when we come to race day. I know when I go down here, I have to turn around and come back up here, and I know I can lose around 20 seconds per mile from about a minute 30 into this rep to the last minute 30 at the end. So again, it's about not letting it beat you mentally. It's about working with the terrain, working with your pacing, and trying to get things right. Shifting gears is so important for me, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to get this workout underway, and hopefully at the end have some good results to show you. Shift gears. So that was 10k pace, slightly harder effort coming back up. So yeah, now we're really shifting into full gear, 5th gear, sorry, and hitting out those 30 seconds. There we go, 3 by 30 done. That's 5th gear found. I didn't say this was going to be easy. Now drop back to 4th with 3 by 90 seconds. Well, that couldn't have gone better if I wanted it to. 3 by 90 done. Gear shifting complete. So that last set, okay, let me go through the paces quickly. Obviously they would have been on screen, but 5:20s and 5:10s for the 3 minutes. So that is slightly quicker than my goal 10k pace, but it felt good. It felt really comfortable. Last week I came out here and did some intervals, and I hit all sub 5 minute mile pace, which was insane. And I know how it feels to be fresh on the first week of a block, so I wasn't expecting too much similar to that, but we did really well. Although the 200s weren't quite what they were last week, 90 seconds I was very happy with. So as I said, 5:20s and 5:10s for those 3 minute intervals, 4:40s and 4:50s I think for the 200s, and then 5 flats, and I think one at the end there creeped into 4:58, 4:59 pace for the 90 seconds. That averaged out 90 minutes. Garmin seems to not let me do the last minute rest for some reason. It just says workout ended. So 19 minutes, should be 20, but 19 minutes in total. 12 minutes worth of intensity, so that's the 2-3 minutes. The 1 minute 30 made up of the 3:30 seconds, and then the 4 minute 30 made up of the 90 seconds. So 12 minutes intensity, 7 minutes worth of recovery or floats, and 5:43 average pace per mile. So that is absolutely spot on. So just before I give you my thoughts on the workout itself and how it went, let me just wrap up this whole gear changing thing, shifting gears, by saying this: it really is beneficial to mix up your workout. So I really do find that it lets you find another gear. You just don't know in a race where a hill might be, where a little incline might be, where you might need to push, where you might need to hold back, whether you want to finish fast or you want to even split, or if you want to go out hard. These workouts really do help you fathom out pacing, help you learn to control things, and help you find that extra gear when you need it. So as for the workout itself, I have to say I am absolutely over the moon with that. I am having to shift things around a little bit this week. On holiday later on this afternoon, heading on down there, and then not going to be back until late Friday night. And I knew that I'd be hitting the coastal paths this week, so I knew there'd be no speed work. So I thought we'll shift things around, get the CV workout done on Monday, and then when I'm back on Saturday I can see how I feel, whether I want to do a threshold workout or whether I just fancy getting out there and getting some miles banked for the long run. But I think for me, the one thing that really stood out today was, well, the question mark I had hanging over my head was last week was incredibly fast, and as I just alluded to, first week of a training block, you're feeling new, feeling fresh, feeling good. How close would I be to those sorts of paces? Well, I knew that first rep, 3 minutes going down, hitting the 520, I thought, okay, that feels good. The test is now going to be coming back up. So then to go faster on the way back up that hill, I felt like, okay, maybe we have actually, just in general, shifted gears, stepped up a level in fitness. Something's happened, because that felt ridiculously good. So then the 200s weren't quite as fast as last week, but that was okay, because I was trying to think to myself, okay, be calm, be patient, focus on the 90s at the end. You don't want it to all unravel at that point. So still clocking really fast 200s, or 30 seconds I should say, but then to kick into those 90s and run them at 5 flat pace. And last week I was running them at 454 to 458, to be like a couple of seconds slower is nuts. So I'm feeling confident now. I'm feeling like I'm really excited to give this sub 34 10k a go. So I hope you enjoyed this type of video. It's good fun always to do a workout video, something I want to be doing every week anyway, just to bring you guys along and see the progress. But mixing that up with a tip, a trick, it's just, shifting gears has helped me over the years. It really has, and it mixes things up, it makes things different, and it just changes how your mind works when you're on a workout. For me, I love doing equal intervals. I love seeing how metronomical I can get those splits, but at the same time I love the challenge of having to mix things up. And as I said, shift gears. I'd love to know if you guys do workouts like this in your training. If so, what's your favourite? Let everyone know down in the comments below. Share your favourite type of workout like this, and hopefully we can all give each other a little bit of inspiration. I'm always on the hunt for new types and styles of workouts, so feel free to share. It'd be great to see your thoughts. Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.